Here is your latest Africa news. The European Union and Tunisia have recently signed a strategic partnership in Tunis, focusing on combating illegal immigration in exchange for monetary support for Tunisia. The Memorandum of Understanding represents another significant step towards addressing the migration crisis in a comprehensive manner, stated and elated Mrs. Maloney, who extended an invitation to Tunisian President Kais Saied to attend a migration summit in Rome. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, welcomed the agreement, as it will enable the EU to address the migration of individuals to Europe. Critics have strongly condemned Tunisia's president, Mr. Saied, whom many view as a racist due to his actions promoting the violent treatment of Africans in his country. They particularly criticized the arrest and subsequent deportation of hundreds of migrants by Tunisian authorities to inhospitable border areas with Algeria and Libya, as reported by NGOs. Witnesses have stated that women and children were abandoned in the middle of the desert without water, food, or shelter. The Tunisia president has also promoted violent attacks on other African nationals living and working in Tunisia in his unhinged attacks on African migrants. An increasingly overt xenophobic discourse has spread in Tunisia since Mr. Saied, who assumed full power in July 2021, denounced illegal immigration in February, referring to hordes of sub-Saharan migrants, who he claimed had come to alter the demographic composition of the country. Critics now argue that the actions of Tunisia's president against migrants are what prompted the EU to offer various gifts to Tunisia. The agreement between Brussels and Tunis provides 105 million euros in aid to combat illegal immigration. The EU has also pledged direct budgetary assistance of 150 million euros in 2023. Additionally, the EU has committed to providing macro-financial assistance of 900 million euros in the form of a loan to Tunisia over the coming years. Furthermore, the North African country will receive 65 million euros in aid for 80 schools. Mrs. von der Leyen affirmed that Brussels remains prepared to provide further assistance once certain conditions are met. This assistance is contingent upon an agreement between Tunisia and the International Monetary Fund, IMF, regarding a new $2 billion loan. Tunisia serves as a major departure point for thousands of migrants crossing the central Mediterranean en route to Europe. Let us know in the comments below if you found this video informative. Please show your support by liking and sharing this video for the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. And always remember, Africa is watching.
If we become a United States of Africa, with our minerals alone, we can collapse the dollar. We can collapse the strong pound that is based on gold, yet they don't have a gold mine.
Welcome to Candid Africa, truthful and unapologetic.
Your problem is that you are saying you don't want colonialism, but you embrace the borders that were brought by colonialism. There were no borders here. There have never been borders here. And that, is it Berlin Conference? It's not long time ago. It's traceable. The borders started then. The people will never leave their countries to your country if their economy and their government is working. If these people wanted to come here, this fence was not going to stop them. No one wants to come here. They are coming to look for opportunities. And that's what we must encourage with all of you, especially the unemployed youth of South Africa. Let Africa be your playing ground. We were conditioned to think that we are superior and we are a country that is defined out of the continent. There are many countries in the continent that are doing so well. And they can use your skill. And they use dollars, by the way, some to pay. Okay. So our position didn't change. All right. I have no time for borders. Why? I have no time for colonialism. How do you say to me, go and change French on the passport and then come at the same time and say, we're signing on my board. Leave the borders alone, but remove French. Removing of French on the passport is part of decolonizing South Africa. Yeah. So you can't speak in folk tongues. It has to be very clear. No one is going to come to our country. They don't have borders in Europe. But when it comes to us, they say, no, you must have borders. Why? The division of Africa is what makes them thrive. They thrive on the division of the African continent. Can you imagine the minerals of DRC combined with the minerals of South Africa and with a new currency based on the minerals? What we can do to the dollar if we become a United States of Africa with our minerals alone? We can collapse the dollar. We can collapse the strong pound that is based on gold, yet they don't have a gold mine. So why do you allow such things? So my position is informed by that. And someone says, no, we won't vote you if you say such things, won't vote for you. He's asking me to lie so that he can go around saying politicians lie. When I tell the truth, I won't vote for you. I must lie so that they can vote for me. There were no borders, and we must all of us unite in that call.
Yeah.
Free movements of persons, free movements of goods will make this country flourish. We will even produce our own products. One thing that you South Africans undermine yourself with is that you are the America of Africa. If you're to produce anything here, Africa will receive it with both hands. They will say, this one is from South Africa. You are known for quality, yet you still don't produce a car. Open the borders. Let the goods move. Let people move. Then produce a car that is South African and sell it to the billions of people who are out there waiting for products from South Africa.
All right.
We don't produce anything, yet we've got market.
There we have it. That has been our candid speech for today. Please feel free to give your opinions in the descriptions below. On this show, we don't tell you how to think or manipulate you. Everybody is open to air the opinion, what you think about the speech. Did you love it? Did you like it? Do you disagree with it? Do you agree with it? Please let us know in the comments below. That's important. Discussing these issues is very important. So now with that said, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Share this video with friends and family. It's the best way for YouTube to spread this video further, okay? So it's been me, Mikey Mushi from Tunacheki. And always remember, Africa is watching.
Here is your latest Africa news. Pentagon typo leaked millions of sensitive messages to African nation. More than 100,000 U.S. military emails containing sensitive information on personnel, travel itineraries, and financial records this year have been leaked to a Mali-based domain, all because of an apparent typo. The debacle unfolded due to an appalling typo, where classified emails were meant for the military's secure.mil domain ended up flowing straight into Mali's .ml domain. This reckless oversight has laid bare the glaring vulnerabilities in the U.S. military's supposedly ironclad security protocols, raising serious concerns about the competency of the U.S. military. Malian officials have not yet responded to this blunder by the United States military. Inside these leaked emails lies a trove of sensitive information that could significantly compromise the safety and well-being of U.S. military personnel and their families. Internet experts have discovered personal details, travel itineraries, and financial records of military personnel and government-hired contractors. But the damage doesn't stop there. The leaked emails also contain highly confidential medical data, identification documents, base staff lists, photos of military bases, contracts, criminal complaints against military personnel, inspection reports, ship crew lists, travel itineraries, tax records, and much more. Also, about a dozen individuals from the U.S. military requested recovery passwords to an intelligence software system, and these vital credentials were mistakenly sent to Mali. Notably, Mali's domain army.ml is also just a letter away from army.nl, the domain used by the Dutch army, who have also been making the same mistakes. This shocking blunder reminds us that no country is impervious to the consequences of carelessness in handling classified information. Let us know in the comments below if you found this video informative. Please show your support by liking and sharing this video for the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. And always remember, Africa is watching. Here is your latest Africa news. Arresting Putin would be a declaration of war against Russia, says Ramaphosa in secret court testimony. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has informed the High Court in Gauteng that arresting Russian President Vladimir Putin during his travels to South Africa for the BRICS summit in August would amount to a declaration of war against Russia. This comes after South Africa's opposition party took the government to court in an attempt to compel them to arrest Russia's president upon his arrival in South Africa. However, the court ruled that the South African government's response to the DA's legal attempt to force the arrest of Putin should be made public. Ramaphosa testified in court, arguing that such an action would be reckless, unconstitutional, and unlawful, as it would imply the government's intent to declare war with Russia. He also advocated for the confidentiality of his court testimony. The DA party in South Africa primarily garners support from Afrikaans, European, Indian, and colored communities, with over 80% of its voters aged over 45. The DA insists that the South African government must take all necessary steps to arrest and detain President Putin for surrender to the ICC if he attends the BRICS summit, scheduled to run from 22nd to the 24th of August in Johannesburg. The court rejected the presidency's claim that Ramaphosa's reasons for confidentiality were to protect interactions with the International Criminal Court regarding the warrant of arrest against Putin. Now made public, Ramaphosa's court testimony clarifies that he does not want to risk provoking a war with Russia. It would be inconsistent with our constitution to engage in war with Russia. I have constitutional obligations to protect the national sovereignty, peace, and security of the Republic, and to respect, protect, promote, and fulfill the rights of the people of the Republic to life, safety, and security, among other rights in the Bill of Rights, he stated. In his argument for confidentiality, Ramaphosa quoted an article from the Rome Statute stating that a requested country shall keep confidential a request for cooperation and any documents supporting the request, except to the extent that the disclosure is necessary for the execution of the request. South Africa is a signatory to the Rome Statute, which governs the ICC. The ICC issued an arrest warrant for Putin in March, accusing him of war crimes related to Russia's ongoing invasion of Ukraine since February of the previous year. Let us know in the comments below if you found this video informative. Please show your support by liking and sharing this video for the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. And always remember, Africa is watching.
I'll be standing next to the road saying, please help, unemployed, no money, a new wife.
Welcome to the African Leadership Series, where we bring you great inspirational speeches of African leaders.
Now, I will not shout the cheers because I had expected that for this final session of the current parliament, I'd be given something a little more stronger than water. We are therefore pleased to announce that we are able once again to increase old age pensions. I'm very excited about this. Because in Davos, in Switzerland, I told the plenary session that in a few months, I'll be standing next to the road saying, please help, unemployed, no money, a new wife, and that there should be no winners or losers. Deputy President Thabo Mbeki, whom we all expect to be the President of South Africa, exemplifies this approach. Many of us will return to the second democratic parliament. Others will not return to this hallowed institution, whether because of the electorate's judgment on our parties, or because of our own choice, or because of the imperatives of advanced age. For my part, I wish to say that it has been a profound privilege to be accountable to this parliament. I was walking along the street when I met a couple of tourists from a well-known Western country. And then the husband stopped and said, "Mr. Mandela." I said, "Well, many people mistake me for that chap." And he said, "Would I be entitled also to mistake you for that chap?" I say, "Well, you'll be doing what many people do." He then turned to his wife and said, "Darling, Mr. Mandela." She was completely unimpressed. And she said, "What is he famous for?" And the husband, in his embarrassment, dropped the voice. And he said, "Mr. Mandela, Mr. Mandela." And the dear lady said, "But I asked you, what is he famous for?" And without waiting for an answer from the husband, she turned to me and said, "What are you famous for?" I must confess I couldn't answer that question. I'll be standing next to the road saying, "Please help, unemployed, no money, a new wife." Together, we must continue our efforts to turn our hopes into reality. The long walk continues. Ndlela ntle, mooi loop, tsela tshweu.
Please feel free to give your opinions in the descriptions below, what you think about the speech. Did you love it? Did you like it? Do you disagree with it? Do you agree with it? Please let us know in the comments below. That's important. Discussing these issues is very important. So now with that said, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Share this video with friends and family. It's the best way for YouTube to spread this video further, okay? So it's been me, Mikey Mushi from Tunacheki. And always remember, Africa is watching.
Here is your latest Africa news. South African president says Russia's President Putin will not be attending BRICS summit in South Africa by mutual agreement. The South African presidency announced on Wednesday that Russian President Vladimir Putin will not be attending the BRICS summit in South Africa next month. By mutual agreement, President Vladimir Putin of the Russian Federation will not attend the summit, but the Russian Federation will be represented by Foreign Minister Mr. Sergei Lavrov, reads the presidency statement. The International Criminal Court issued a warrant of arrest for Putin for alleged war crimes in his invasion of Ukraine. And by law, South Africa would have had to arrest him if he entered the country. South Africa is a signatory to the treaty that created the ICC and would have been obliged under that to arrest Putin, although the country had given strong hints that it would have likely not executed the arrest warrant. But the president announcement allows South Africa to avoid the problem and comes after Ramaphosa spoke with Putin by telephone in recent days. The decision for Putin not to attend was by mutual agreement, Ramaphosa's office said. Russia will instead be represented at the August 22, 24 summit by Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. The BRICS economic bloc is made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. South Africa had invited the leaders of the other 4 countries to the summit before Putin's arrest warrant was issued by the ICC in March. The announcement brings to an end months of speculation over if Putin was going to travel to South Africa. Putin has not traveled to any country that is a signatory to the ICC treaty since he was indicted for war crimes over the abduction of children from Ukraine. Let us know in the comments below if you found this video informative. Please show your support by liking and sharing this video for the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. And always remember, Africa is watching. Here is your latest Africa news. A large floating prison, which Western media like the BBC, Daily Mail, and the New York Times have been referring to as a floating accommodation barge, has arrived on the UK coast of Portland. The floating prison will be used to hold up to 500 single adult male refugees under Home Office plans to alleviate the pressure on the asylum system. The vessel's arrival on the UK coast of Portland was met with fresh protests from individuals who do not approve of the UK government's treatment of refugees as prisoners. Protesters holding signs reading "No to the barge" and "No floating prison" gathered at the dock while television crews filmed them. The floating prison, known as the Bibi Stockholm, is a 3-story and 300 feet long vessel that was previously used to house refugees in Germany and the Netherlands. It faced criticism as an oppressive environment during its use by the Dutch government. The UK government has described its new immigration laws as essential to halting arrivals across the English Channel and other illegal routes. However, legal experts have warned that certain aspects of the new legislation could violate international laws protecting refugees. Over the past decade, the global refugee population has more than doubled, exceeding 30 million refugees in 2022. A common misconception, however, pertains to where refugees seek asylum. In most cases, individuals affected by the world's largest refugee crises are unable to reach high-income countries in Europe or North America. Instead, they find shelter in neighboring countries such as Iran, Uganda, Sudan, Ethiopia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Turkey, which collectively host almost 80% of the world's refugees. Interestingly, these countries rarely make headlines complaining about the challenges of hosting such a significant number of refugees. Meanwhile, certain European nations, who host only a fraction of that population, often act as if they are being overrun by refugees. Consequently, the United Kingdom's decision is widely seen as inhumane, racist, and xenophobic, considering that the number of refugees seeking asylum in their country is less than 1% of the current refugees in need of assistance. Let us know in the comments below if you found this video informative. Please show your support by liking and sharing this video for the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. And always remember, Africa is watching. Here is your latest Africa news. Namibia's parliament passed a law banning same-sex marriage. Namibia's parliament has passed a law banning same-sex marriage. This move comes in the wake of a new wave of anti-gay laws in Africa, which was initiated by Uganda. The newly enacted law stipulates that marriages between 2 individuals of the same sex, conducted abroad, will not be recognized in Namibia. Additionally, the law criminalizes the solemnization, participation in, promotion, or advertisement of such same-sex marriages. Those found guilty of these offenses could face imprisonment for up to 6 years and a fine of up to $5,500. It's worth noting that Namibia already has a long-standing 1927 sodomy law that prohibits sex between homosexuals, though it is seldom enforced. During the parliamentary debate, Elder Felipe, a member of the ruling SWAPO party, expressed his support for the law, emphasizing that the institution of marriage should be reserved for unions between a man and a woman. The legislation defines marriage as a union between persons of opposite sexes and spouse as half of a legal union between 2 persons born genetically male and female. In recent years, Namibia has witnessed several court cases concerning the rights of same-sex couples in matters of marriage, parenthood, and immigration. In May, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of recognizing same-sex marriages conducted overseas between Namibian citizens and foreign partners. However, This decision has sparked opposition among conservatives in the country. Namibia, being a sparsely populated and predominantly Christian nation, is also well known for its abundant wildlife and natural attractions, attracting tourists from around the world. Presently, Ghana and Kenya have their own anti-gay bills in different stages of consideration in their respective parliaments. Let us know in the comments below if you found this video informative. Please show your support by liking and sharing this video for the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. And always remember, Africa is watching. Here is your latest Africa news. South Africa says more than 40 nations interested in joining BRICS. More than 40 countries have expressed interest in joining the BRICS group of nations, South Africa's top diplomat in charge of relations with the bloc has said. The question of how far and fast to expand the group, centered around Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is top of the agenda at the Summit of Nations seeking to offset the hegemony of the US-led West in global affairs. Aside from the 22 countries that had formally asked to join, Suklal said there was an equal number of countries that have informally expressed interest in becoming BRICS members, including all the major global South countries. South African officials want BRICS to become a champion of the developing world, and African countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo, Comoros, Egypt, Gabon, and Ethiopia have all expressed interest. The growing interest in the BRICS group is nothing new, but it underlines the confidence in the work that the BRICS have championed since the group's inception. The BRICS are not only the driving force of global strength in trying to change the fault lines in terms of global politics, they are also changing what happens in the global economic space, said Mr. Suklal. The current global architecture continues to be unequal, continues to marginalize developing countries, and continues to be dominated by a few hegemonies. We want a world where our voices are heard. Their next summit takes place from 22 to the 24th of August in Johannesburg, and 69 countries have been invited, including several African countries. French President Emmanuel Macron had asked to attend the summit, but was quickly dismissed by the BRICS members. The BRICS is a consensus entity. It's not just South Africa's decision. There has to be consultation, commented Anil Suklal, who pointed out that South African Foreign Affairs Minister Naledi Pandor is in charge of this procedure. Formally launched in 2009, the group of 5 emerging powers now accounts for 31.5% of global GDP, while the G7 share has fallen to 30%. The BRICS is expected to contribute over 50% of global GDP by 2030, with the proposed enlargement almost certainly bringing that forward. Let us know in the comments below if you found this video informative. Please show your support by liking and sharing this video for the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. And always remember, Africa is watching.
Your people are a hopeless lot. I don't hate them. I pity the poor devils.
Hello there. My name is Milton Samuel J. Wright. I am the only person of color to have had a face-to-face conversation with the infamous Adolf Hitler and lived to tell the tale. Here is my story.
Welcome to our African History series, a series where we look at the great men and women who paved the way for us today. In today's video, we will be looking at the life of the only person of African descent known to have had a face-to-face conversation with the infamous Nazi Adolf Hitler. Born in the bustling city of Chicago in the early 20th century, Milton Samuel J. Wright possessed a magnetic personality and an insatiable thirst for adventure. His life was an extraordinary odyssey that intertwined with some of the most consequential events of his era. He grew up in a vibrant neighborhood where he developed a keen intellect and a passion for world affairs. As he matured, he embarked on a journey of self-discovery that led him to explore distant lands and immerse himself in different cultures. Along the way, he honed his linguistic skills, becoming fluent in multiple languages. In the 1930s, a dark cloud cast its shadow over Europe. The rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime threatened to engulf the world in a cataclysmic conflict. During this time, Wright found himself drawn to the epicenter of history. He had just completed 2 years of study in Germany and had been given his degree certificate when he and his German friends decided to attend a regional political rally where Hitler spoke. At the rally, Wright would allegedly joke with his friends that he wouldn't mind assassinating Hitler. Hitler's guards overheard them and followed Wright as he went to a hotel with his friends to have dinner, and as fate had it, Hitler was at that same hotel. Wright, on entering the hotel, was detained by Nazi stormtroopers and taken to Hitler's room to be questioned. Like any other person at that time, Wright was scared and thought that this would be his end. Unknown to him that in a few years, one of them would end up shooting himself in the head in an underground bunker, while the other ended up a celebrated professor who positively influenced generations. But the interrogation turned into a 4-hour dinner for two, where they discussed several topics. Wright skillfully probed Hitler's mind, seeking to understand the motivations and ideology that had led to such immense human suffering. He listened intently as Hitler passionately expounded upon his warped vision of the world.
Don't you think your people are destined perpetually to be slaves of one kind or another? Your people are a hopeless lot. I don't hate them. I pity the poor devils.
Meticulously examining the darkest recesses of the dictator's psyche, Wright, fluent in German, would later give an account of his encounter with Hitler.
When I would attempt to correct some of his versions of life in America, he would almost invariably break in with another question or comment. With that exception, he was most courteous to me. He spoke loudly, long, and with an air of authority.
Rather than engaging in a heated debate or becoming overwhelmed by anger, Wright approached the encounter with a remarkable poise. His intention was not to change Hitler's mind, but rather to grasp the depths of the human condition that could give rise to such malevolence. In doing so, Wright sought to unearth the seeds of compassion and understanding buried within even the most despicable souls. The future German dictator, however, paid Wright a compliment at the end of their 4-hour conversation, saying he loved the fact that the first black person he had ever met in person could speak better German than any white American or Englishman he had ever heard. Unfortunately, from 1933 to 1945, many African Germans were excluded from education and employment and were not allowed to have relationships with white people. Some were also sterilized, while others were sent to concentration camps. This unique encounter with Hitler left an indelible mark on Wright's mind. He carried the weight of this experience throughout his life, using it as a catalyst to advocate for tolerance, dialogue, and the pursuit of peace. Wright became an influential figure, dedicating his energy and resources to promoting harmony among nations and fostering cultural exchange. Through his work, Wright aimed to ensure that the horrors of the past would never be forgotten or repeated. He tirelessly traveled the world, sharing his story and encouraging people to confront the darkness within themselves and society. While back in the U.S., he became a professor and head of the Department of Economics and Political Science at his alma mater Wilberforce in 1933. In 1959, he was dean of the college. Milton Samuel J. Wright's life was a testament to the power of understanding, compassion, and the indomitable human spirit. His encounter with Hitler serves as a reminder that even in the face of great evil, the pursuit of empathy and dialogue can offer glimmers of hope and transformation. What are your thoughts on this great man? Leave a comment below and let us know. Also, let us know who else you would like us to cover. Thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Be sure to watch our other videos that celebrate our mama Africa. Until the next video, stay safe and remember, Africa
with that
is
said,
watching.
thank you for everybody who tuned in. We appreciate you guys. As always, please share this video after it finishes to friends and family. Please like this video. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. That's how YouTube knows it's a good video and it will keep recommending it to more people, spreading our message, okay? So we really appreciate you guys. And as always, it's been me, Mikey Mushi from Tunacheki, and Africa is watching. Bye, guys.